Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel, thank you. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Perfect World based on novel. So let's start. After all, even the Willow deity had been defeated in the past, only able to flee. Everything was intersecting. It wasn't just one battlefield. It passed through all of time. One had to consider the element of past times and great vicissitudes over the years. Time, space connected everything from the ancient past until now. They were from different regions, different battlefields. In the future, it was definitely going to be extremely bitter and desperate, but there was a chance that it might very well become incredibly brilliant. I have to become stronger and ascend to the peak of the divine Tao, sweeping through all enemies in my way. Xiahao said. Then, he suddenly turned around, leaving this place. He wanted to return above the abyss. He was going to rise up now, and squeeze out every bit of his own potential. While Xiahao was walking up to the stone walls and about to climb upwards again, he turned around to give this place one last look. He was shocked once again. That cauldron vaguely took form. Precisely at this moment, someone walked out from within. That person was extremely indistinct, unable to see clearly at all. That person stood on the altar. Xiahao found this difficult to believe. He stopped moving and stared in that direction. The altar trembled. It was extremely unstable. A blurry radiance shone there, and then an unstable passageway appeared. That person fell inside, thus disappearing. Someone came, landing in the void passageway, leaving this place. Where exactly does it lead to? Xiao's voice was trembling. After a long time had passed, his eyes became resolute, his expression serious. He said to himself, "This is a leftover image from the past, the reappearance of an engraving. Everything I saw didn't happen just now. Who was that person? Would he meet this person one day? If they did meet, he would be able to understand who it was that was calling out to him, wishing for him to join that great battle." Xiahao didn't hesitate anymore. He quickly climbed up the abyss walls. On the abyss, there were many creatures. Where is Huang? He will have an audience with my clan's great one. Someone spoke, walking towards Qingyi and the others, Fallen Divine Ridge's cultivators. Cao Yuxing's expression changed. Fallen Divine Ridge is an extremely ancient, but incomparably large sect. Fallen deities were demons, and demons were one of the four great ancestral courts. This was a young man with scarlet hair. A pair of horns grew from his head, making him look extremely sinister. Where did this cow come from, not even completing your evolution, yet already coming out to scare others? Go back and refine away your cow horns first. The little rabbit glared with her large red eyes. I am only here to pass on the message. Whether you all decide to go is your choice. This youth sensed killing intent and immediately backed off. He wasn't of the impulsive type, not wishing to suffer for no reason. He cupped his fists and then turned around to leave, not staying here for even a moment longer. Only when he was in the distance and about to disappear did he say again, "Divine Child Great One is about to come out from isolation. So please have Huang prepare to greet him. That cow really does run quickly," the Divine Striking Stone said. It originally wanted to take action and directly smash outwards to break one of its horns, but it was stopped by Qingyi. Fighting is prohibited in the Black Abyss surroundings. There are natives maintaining order here. This was a restricted place. There were natives from all different races standing guard here, waiting to exchange for the artifacts cultivators brought out from below. Battles were not permitted here. Why hasn't Xiahao come back up yet? Don't tell me that he encountered some type of danger, right? This isn't some kind place. Cao Yuxing frowned. Should be okay. The little rabbit said. She felt that since Huang could even come back from the black-colored ancient boat, this abyss shouldn't be too troublesome for him. Time continued to pass. They waited left and right for Xiao's return, and eventually, they all frowned, feeling that things weren't quite right. Forget about those who were with Xiao, even the ones that went after he went down had came up again a long time ago. This was just too slow. Even if he traveled 2,000 zhong, he still should have returned. The first 100 zhong was a safe region. Once one passed this region, it became difficult to say. Generally speaking, it was already extremely rare for one to travel 1 or 2,000 zhong. Normally, it was extremely rare for anyone to break through 3,000 zhong. Even the furthest would be merely 2,000 or so zhong. A single wait took up the small half of a day. In the end, group after group of people went down and returned. Based on normal reasoning, the amount of time should have long passed, and he should already be back. Could it be that Huang died below? If that's really the case, then it'll definitely be a huge joke. Someone so powerful fell in the black abyss and died. Suddenly, a figure rushed out while sticking to the abyss stone walls, immediately landing on the ground. He wore tattered armor on his body, and with the ferocious movements, the rust that was on it began to fall. Shahao put away the armor, his eyes ice-cold as he swept through the crowd, making this place immediately become silent. Not even those in hiding dared to speak again. This is too great, he finally returned. The little rabbit was bouncing about excitedly, reaching out her hands while shouting noisily, asking for good stuff. An afterimage remained at his original location. Shahao disappeared, and then with several up and down movements, he carried over 3 individuals, tossing them fiercely onto the ground. Sure enough, they are Heavenly Country's executioners and Underworld clan's corpses. Cao Yusheng said. Shahao raised his feet, about to kick them into the abyss. Towards these people, there was no need to say too much, just directly eliminate them and that was that. Stay your hand. You are not allowed to use force here. Someone from the natives walked over, eyes cold, exerting powerful pressure. Right, you cannot kill us. The 3 captives cried out, as if they were clawing at their life-saving straw. Shahao didn't kick them down, but he stepped down on each of their bodies, almost trampling apart their bones. The 3 of them immediately screamed miserably, "Murderer! Everyone, please uphold justice here." Even though there weren't any injuries, the 3 of them screamed frantically, wishing for the natives to take action and kill Shahao. You cannot act rudely here. The Centaur race, 8-armed spirit race, ancient fiend race and other natives walked over, their expressions serious. However, with each step they walked closer, the expressions of the elders among them changed, revealing expressions of disbelief, as if they sensed something. Their eyes flourished with radiance as they stared at Shahao. "Young esteemed guest, we are willing to exchange for the things in your hands." An elder spoke up with a trembling voice, hurriedly walking over. Moreover, when they passed by the 3 captives, they directly kicked outwards, sending them one after another into the abyss, cleanly eliminating them. No. Save us. Miserable cries sounded from the abyss below. All of you. Are there any others who dare to treat our esteemed guest with disrespect and stand out? The other elders also walked over, shouting towards the surrounding creatures. Everyone became stupefied. Were they watching a play? I understand. He definitely found formidable things below, and these immortal ancient natives sensed them. Someone said softly. When others heard this, their eyes all flourished with brilliance as they looked towards Shahao. Unfortunately, they didn't dare to steal from this devil king even if they were the bravest in the world. They could only watch from the side. This shook Shahao's mind, but he didn't say too much. He didn't wish to gift the willow deity's branch to others, wishing to keep it himself. Hurry and just exchange for these. I still have other matters to tend to, he urged. In the end, he was perfectly satisfied, and the surrounding people were petrified. It was because he obtained many stalks of holy medicines, making this place resplendent. Medicinal fragrance was rich, a rain of light drifting about. We're rich. So much radish and cabbage. I want to eat them. The little rabbit cried out with AO sounds. She was the one that was most happy. Shahao put away the precious medicines and brought his people away, leaving the black abyss. Then, in the following 2 days, the elders of the natives were like glue, sticking to Shahao's back. They didn't take action either, just following without leaving. Youngster, you should hand that thing over to us. Did you old fellas go crazy? The little rabbit muttered. Cao Yusheng said, lower your voice, don't let the others hear. I say, Shahao, what kind of thing did you obtain exactly to make these old fellas like this? You might as well just exchange it with them. I'm leaving to collect life-saving items. When I've gathered enough, I will immediately leave Burial City to enter isolation. I am going to cultivate a second strand of immortal energy. Shahao was also at his wits' end from being chased, unable to break free all this time. Meanwhile, there was no way he could fight against these natives. Otherwise, there would be huge troubles, with no place safe left in Immortal Ancient. Burial City had a region where the building style was unique. They were all made from jade, looking like bejeweled palaces. There were many creatures here. People came and went, making it exceptionally lively. Extremely precious medicines for sale here. Must take a look. Heavens, there are rumors of information on the heavenly deity fruit. A single fruit will immediately allow you to become a heavenly deity. Burial City's greatest auction house was here. Green jade was used as the staircase, white jade as the arch bridge. The massive palace released auspicious multicolored light, the spiritual essence here dense, making it seem like a heavenly temple. Huang, we finally meet. A voice sounded. You really have some arrogance, I had others come look for you, yet he was ignored. Fallen divine child spoke. At this time, a faint smile appeared on his face, the terrifying scenes in his eyes disappearing. He had sharp eyebrows and stellar eyes, his face handsome. His smile became greater and greater, becoming more and more resplendent. It was as if a blazing sun rose here, erupting with brilliance. His temperament became completely different, incomparably warm, making one feel as if they were bathed in autumn winds. Everyone felt a sense of reverence towards him. Shahao frowned. He knew that this person definitely took that step, cultivating immortal energy. This individual was extremely dangerous. Only, it was difficult for normal people to sense it. However, he was still fearless, because he had long taken that step, cultivating immortal energy, just that he never gave it away. This was done precisely to draw out the old enemy, fallen divine child, and then use this to kill him. Since you didn't come to meet me, I personally came to see you. Fallen divine child's head of grey hair fluttered about, his smile extremely brilliant as he walked over step by step. All of the creatures here felt their hearts trembling. They all looked towards that direction. A commotion immediately broke out. The ancient freak fallen divine child had appeared, clearly for Huang. He was going to take action. Who do you think you are, for me to have an audience with you? Shahao calmly replied, you seem to be more powerful than your two senior brothers. However, your end will be the same. Back then, they both crawled under my feet. Fallen divine child said softly, youngster, you should be careful when you speak. A loose tongue causes troubles. Right at this moment, the elders behind Shahao walked out, their expressions unkind. Fallen divine child stopped walking, his mind trembling, because those were natives, not people he could provoke. Otherwise, there would be no place safe for him in Immortal Ancient, bringing a great disaster upon himself. Shahao's eyes were extremely cold as he looked at him. He walked forward step after step. This person still dared to raise the old topic again, using his humiliation of his two senior brothers to incite him. Little friend, can you exchange that thing for us? We will help you eliminate him, and eradicate HS sect along the way. One of the elders spoke. In the surroundings, the group of people were petrified. For the natives to side with Shahao like this, it truly was unexpected. I'll take care of it myself. You all don't need to take action. Shahao said. An enemy was right in front of him, someone who had previously trampled on his two senior brothers, mocking and humiliating them. If he didn't personally defeat him, then that would be letting down Supreme Being Tao, right? Ha ha ha, fallen divine child immediately laughed, his expression becoming a bit cold. He seemed to be ridiculing, but also showing disdain. His head of grey hair danced about, his eyes slightly narrowing. The terrifying scenes of gods and devils being wiped out was within him. When he saw the natives back off, the corners of his lips curled upwards. He was calm and cold, confident that he was unmatched, not surprising at all. You ask those great races for protection, wishing for them to defend you. He looked at Shahao, his eyes deep. I've already said that the grudge between us will also settle between the two of us. You don't need to be scared. Shahao spoke in a somewhat mocking manner. Me? Scared? If I had fear, I wouldn't have my accomplishments today. In fact, even if an expert stepped out for your sake, I will still similarly kill you. He said indifferently. The divine striking stone was so angry it shouted noisily, you are definitely going to die. He really wanted to see what kind of expression fallen divine child would have once Shahao revealed his strand of immortal energy. This street was engulfed in chaos, and soon after, it was difficult for all of Burial City to calm down. Many people hurried to this region, after receiving news, all of them wishing to watch this world-shocking great battle. Everyone felt conflicted. Were they going to watch the battle, or join the auction? It was a bit difficult to decide. This battle was a competition at the peak, the highest level of battle since the start of Immortal Ancient. No one was willing to miss out on it. However, Descendant Auction House had already released news half a month ago, and this time, all of the world's rarest divine treasures were being auctioned off, the opportunities shockingly great. It was rumored that there might even be a heavenly deity fruit that would appear. Once one ate that divine fruit, they would immediately become a heavenly deity and transcend above, having the power to sweep through all enemies in immortal ancient. There was also the rumor that an ancient diagram would be auctioned off, on it recorded the cave of an immortal. As for the natural luck within, there was no need to talk about. It would definitely be enough to shock all of the small worlds, going to the auction first. At the crucial moment, Shahao spoke up, his heart was calm. He wasn't affected by fallen divine child's intimidation at all, instead feeling incredibly calm, doing things according to his own plans. It was because he also heard a few rumors that Descendant Auction House had some things he needed. He was about to go into isolation cultivation to cultivate a second strand of immortal energy, so he had to make ample preparations. That's fine as well, matches what I had in mind. Fallen divine child smiled. He originally came for the auction to choose a few divine treasures. Youngster, if you see anything you want, we are willing to exchange it with you. 8-armed soul race, ancient fiend race, and several other elders moved over, speaking extremely eagerly. I wish to take a look first. Shahao said. It looks like you have something not bad on you. Properly take care of it, all right. It seems like this time, my harvest will have some pleasant surprises. Fallen divine child glanced over, revealing a faint smile. Then, he took large steps towards the bejeweled jade palace, entering the auction house. That bastard. Too hateful. The little rabbit grinded her teeth, as she stared with her large ruby-like eyes. Even Cao Yusheng and the others found it difficult to remain calm. Fallen divine Ridge's inheritor was overbearing as expected, arrogant to the point where others truly wished to immediately take action, fighting with him to the death. He's doing it on purpose to anger us. This person is quite deep and wouldn't act so superficial. This is to disturb Shahao's mental state. Qing Yi said. They walked over into the auction house as well, because the bidding war was about to start. 3,000 provinces, a place truly vast with many sects. Meanwhile, Fallen Divine Ridge occupied one position among the 4 great demonic Dao's holy lands, so there was no need to talk more about them. It was already enough to prove how terrifying they were. Everyone, please quiet down. The auction is about to start. Someone spoke from above the fine jade elevated stage. On it was an aged indigenous expert, as well as a beautiful and moving young lady with unmatched charm and grace. Everyone quickly calmed down. They were all looking forward to this auction. Sure enough, Descendant Auction House didn't disappoint. They had just began, yet everyone was already surprised. The very first auctioned item triggering a huge commotion, Blue Bone Blade, known to be able to kill all experts in the true self realm. Its power is great, nothing it cannot cut through. The elder introduced. As soon as his words dropped, a huge commotion broke out. Everyone was shaken up. The auction house immediately erupted with activity. Many people stood up, their minds rising and falling as they stared at the high platform. One had to bear in mind that the true self realm, for many people, was the limit of what they could achieve while an immortal ancient, and a long amount of time was needed for accumulation and cultivation. Right now, there was actually this type of bone blade that could cut through all true self realm cultivators. So how could it not move everyone's heart? Aside from the ancient kings and a small number of people, normal people didn't even bother thinking about breaking through the true self realm in this amount of time. Once they grasped this blade, it was enough for them to move unhindered through the small worlds. A beauty appeared, in her hands a sparkling blue bone blade. It was dreamlike, carrying faint smoke, appearing beautiful and bewitching before everyone's eyes. 2 holy medicines. Someone shouted, and then swallowed his saliva. Truly a country bumpkin. Even daring to speak up with just 2 stalks, 5 stalks of holy medicine, half a piece of star essence. Everyone, we are not trying to deceive you. There really is that type of place, only the surrounding space has chaotic energy. That is why since ancient time, not many people have successfully picked heavenly deity fruits from that place, but many have personally seen it for themselves. The auction house elder spoke. Many people curled their lips, lacking interest. Not even Shahao participated, because he believed that he didn't need that type of thing right now, so there was no need to take such risk. He also wanted to rely on himself to reach that cultivation realm. A piece of sunstone, a piece of heavenly deity crystal core. Fallen divine child stood up, continuously declaring materials, participating with a price a bit higher than the bottom price. In addition, he looked over towards Shahao's group, carrying cold intent and mockery. Thanks for bidding on it. Properly take care of it for us, all right. The little rabbit said, relax, if you all are obedient, I will properly raise you all, turning you into my heavenly deity troops. Fallen divine child smiled extremely brilliantly. We'll see the results soon, just waiting for your defeat. The little rabbit puffed her cheeks, appearing quite angered. Ha ha ha, fallen divine child laughed, his voice quite loud and unrestrained. He looked towards their group and said, the auction is about to end, so I'll take all of you as servants in a bit. Fallen divine child was unbridled and brash. He stood there with a smile on his face. That type of insolence and arrogance was completely undisguised as he spoke overbearingly. You can act arrogantly for a bit. When the time comes, this old one will cut you down. The divine striking stone was so angry it cried out noisily, quiet. Right at this moment, the elder inside the auction house spoke, using his barbaric ox raw divine ability, making the entire palace rumble with noise. He was clearly an expert. In the surroundings, everyone kept quiet out of fear. Regardless of whether it was towards fallen divine child's intimidation, or the elder's roar, they all felt that they themselves were insignificant, their existences not worth mentioning. In the end, no one fought with fallen divine child over that diagram. He successfully obtained it with a price, just slightly above the bottom asking price. The main thing was that most people didn't believe they could find that place and get close to the heavenly deity ancient tree. If it was that easy, then the natives would have taken action a long time ago. Apart from this, even if there were some who were moved, wishing to bid, when they saw the ancient freak fallen divine child take action, they all felt scared. Who was willing to fight against him? That was simply courting death. This kind of person had a cultivation that shook past and present, overlooking the world below. How many people dared to have him as their enemy? Even someone as powerful as Huang was targeted by him, his words carrying undisguised provocation, declaring that he was going to kill Huang. Everyone naturally became fearful, not daring to provoke him. Then, there were a few half-divine fruits for sale. Shahao decisively took action. He needed these types of things, because the following breakthrough would be extremely crucial, requiring large amounts of holy medicines. What was shocking that fallen divine child was helping out. He was competing as well, moreover scanning his eyes over everyone, intimidating many people from competing. As long as others backed off, he didn't continue bidding either. At first, the little rabbit was quite happy, giggling simply, mocking fallen divine child's stupidity. However, soon after, she realized what was happening and immediately became furious. The other party was treating them like his servants, believing that everything on them was his, things that were definitely going to be seized later, hateful. The little rabbit cried out with AO sounds, her eyes immediately becoming even redder. Let it be, there's no need to be angry. The results will be apparent soon. Qingyi consoled, the light in her eyes swirling about. Even an otherworldly fairy like herself was a bit angered. The auction house's staff's expressions became a bit unkind, a few creatures giving fallen divine child a look. If it wasn't for him using a large sum to purchase that bone diagram, they would have chased him out a long time ago. Fallen divine child didn't cross the line, no longer interfering with the bidding. The immortal cave is quite unordinary. The 10-crown king from you people, the immortal Dao little tree seems to have been excavated in front of the immortal cave. When the elder spoke this sentence, it seemed to strike down on everyone's minds like thunder, making many people tremble inwardly. Everyone straightened their bodies and stared at this elder, trying to judge if this was true or false. This was just too shocking. 10-crown king's great natural luck actually came from this immortal cave as the base. He obtained a jade ancient book in Burial Realm, and based on what was recorded on it, he then went out to search about, and only then did he obtain some harvest. The elder continued. Everyone heard this before, only, they never imagined that the jade book actually pointed towards an immortal cave. 10-crown king had never entered before, only digging up a small tree outside the cave, yet there was already this kind of natural luck. One can well imagine the opportunities that are available. The elder said with a sigh. These words naturally left everyone shocked. The entrance was already like this, so what would the immortal cave itself be like? Everyone's breathing became hurried. The elder spoke frankly that their experts had gone there, but they couldn't enter that cave. In the following years, they also sent quite a few experts, but all of them returned in defeat. Sometimes, opportunities don't only rely on strength, but are truly related to fate. The elder said. He then had the beautiful young lady raise the stone-engraved diagram. Everyone reached out their necks to see it for themselves. Unfortunately, they only saw vague traces, impossible to see it clearly. Shahao opened his heavenly eyes, but in the end, they were still obstructed. It was clear that the other party used restrictive force to seal up that stone diagram. For Shahao, this was equivalent to 2 lives, the things he needed the most. He immediately straightened his body. The elders that followed Shahao like dogs all revealed strange looks. They asked, "Little friend is interested, I am." Shahao nodded, "Then that is much easier." The elder smiled. He nodded towards him, and then his lips opened and closed, transmitting sound. On the platform, that elder spoke the lowest price. The lowest price for these 2 items is just a willow branch. Everyone was shocked. It was just that simple. Shahao was stunned. He immediately understood. Descendant Auction House was related to the elders at his side, opened by them. "I can find 100 carts of willow branches." Someone impatiently shouted, "I should add one more point. That branch was left behind from the last great era." On the elevated stage, that elder said. Everyone became dumbstruck. Was there still natural reason? Who would be able to bring out such a thing? "You all are making things difficult for me." Shahao turned around and looked towards those elders. "Willow deity. I will not allow anyone else to blaspheme him. I need to properly preserve it." The elders revealed looks of shock. One of them said, "Why are you saying what we were going to say?" "The reason we want the willow branch is out of hopes that guardian spirit ancient ancestor isn't blasphemed by others. We were going to bring it back to the Holy Land to consecrate." "Nonsense." The 8-armed spirit race elder glared. "I need an explanation." Shahao said, "We cannot speak too much about many things, but we can tell you that the branch guardian spirit ancient ancestor left behind cannot belong to outsiders." Even though they couldn't speak too much about it, the elder still spoke a bit more. Shahao's eyes became deep. He stood up and said, "Let's go choose your grave. Of course, if your original body isn't human form, then never mind. A cauldron to stew you later on is enough." "Ha ha ha," fallen divine child laughed. Even though he was calm, he became bit cold. "So impatient to offer yourselves over, you are just like your 2 senior brothers. Back then, they were fighting one over the other to take action against me first. In the end, I suppressed them all the same, giving each of them a kick, stepping on their faces. That type of feeling is not bad. After all, they are people from the Supreme Being bloodline, yet they were stepped on by me, ha." The auction house immediately became quiet. Everyone felt as if they were suffocating. They all understood that a great battle was going to begin. No one dared to speak randomly, not wishing to offend anyone. "Go to the place of your death." Shahao got up, walking outwards, unendurable. "Need to be killed." The divine striking stone roared, the first time it was angered so badly. It truly hated this person. Divine fallen child was too overbearing, more than it could take. "Huang, you have to defeat him." The little rabbit cried out noisily. Cao Yusheng and Qingyi followed behind, finding it difficult to calm down their emotions. "All right, let me have a look. I want to see if you are a bit better than your 2 senior brothers." Fallen divine child walked out from the auction house, following behind them to fight this great battle. Hong! Burial City immediately erupted with commotion. All of the creatures here already heard that fallen divine child had arrived, about to take action against Huang. The 2 of them were selecting a place for battle right now, an exceptional great battle about to unfold. "Go. Let's go watch this. This type of great battle definitely cannot be missed out on. Hurry and follow them." Fortunately, the battlefield Shahao and the others selected wasn't too far. Otherwise, not many people would be able to follow them. This was an ancient battlefield. The Great Earth was a dark red color, dyed red by the blood of past unmatched creatures. Not a blade of grass grew here, and it was surrounded by mists all year round. Generally speaking, this type of place was full of baleful energy. Not many people dared to come here. However, right now, Shahao and fallen divine child were in the depths of the ancient battlefield, unaffected by their surroundings. As for others, not a single one went inside, all of them watching from the distance. Everyone was extremely nervous, but also looking forward to this. On the battlefield, fallen divine child felt a scorching pain on his face, his jawbones almost all fractured. This result made his eyes cold to the extreme. Shame, resentment, and ruthlessness interweaved together, causing dark light to erupt from fallen divine child's entire body. He was like a demonic god from the underworld. He, who was still flying backwards, directly stopped himself. Then, like a javelin, his body nailed itself into the ground, stopping all movement. His eyes were deep, the scenes within them terrifying. In the depths of his eyes, large amounts of divine corpses fell. "I've underestimated you." It was just these few words, but they sounded like clashing metal, making everyone feel incredibly uncomfortable as it rang in their ears. He walked over step by step, glaring at Shahao. He truly acted carelessly, never expecting Shahao to be so extraordinary. His hand formed an imprint, and with a gentle shake, the surrounding void split. Following his movements, the entire heaven and earth seemed to be swaying. This type of energy, that kind of fluctuations made one's soul feel unsteady, as if they were going to collapse as well. Fallen Divine Child took action, the magical imprint tangling about a streak of pure white immortal energy to kill Shahao. That hand imprint was too crazy, creating more and more cracks in the void. Dawn. Shahao didn't dodge, fiercely taking action. His right fist shone resplendently, smashing down like a comet, colliding with that magical imprint. With a wing sound, the battlefield trembled intensely. Their arms continuously clashed against each other, attacking with the most ferocious methods. It was as if thunder struck down again and again here. In the distance, many people cried out in alarm, quickly backing up. It was because mysterious symbols were extending outwards, engulfing heaven and earth. They were affected even while far away. Everyone flew backwards together. A few people's bodies went weak under those unimaginable fluctuations, trembling with fear. It was as if they were insects facing enormous dragons. In the battlefield, the two of them were like lightning as they moved about, continuously clashing. Resplendent light was released again and again, some directly piercing through the horizon, scattering the clouds. This battle was incomparably intense. Their fists collided, the light released actually continuously making the void cave in. That type of scene was too terrifying. Many people's faces became pale. How could they compare to this type of fighting prowess? It was on a completely different order of magnitude. Many proud and arrogant geniuses were dealt a mental blow, feeling a sense of defeat. It was because this type of difference was too great. They suspected that even if they became true deities, they would still be easily killed by these two. In the end, both parties scattered, each occupying one side. Even though it all happened in an instant, their fists had already struck out over 1,000 times. The light that erupted split apart the surrounding void, terrifying to an inconceivable degree. And right now, they already traveled several tens of li, entering deeply into the ancient battlefield. Fallen Divine Child's eyes were extremely cold as he stared at Shahao. He found it hard to believe that after taking that step, transcending the ancient predecessors, and cultivating immortal energy, he still couldn't kill this person. Now, Fallen Divine Child emerged, full of confidence. He carried an attitude of devouring mountains and rivers, that he was the only one that was supreme. It was because he transcended above the ancient predecessors. He believed that he could travel unhindered through immortal ancient, that even if he encountered Ning Chuan, he could still fight him. As for others like Huang, he could just directly sweep through them, easily killing them. Who would have expected that the enemy he looked down on, someone younger than himself, cultivated immortal energy with just one era, able to stand on equal footing with himself? For Fallen Divine Child who had always overlooked his peers, this type of feeling was utterly terrible. There had never been anyone who exceeded himself, yet today, he encountered a terrifying freak. By sealing up the space, is it that you don't want secrets to be leaked? Shahao jeered. Fallen Divine Child's face fell. The battlefield was surrounded by mist, so outsiders couldn't see their immortal energy. He sealed up this place so others couldn't hear their conversation. He indeed wished to hide things, not wanting the other ancient freaks in Immortal Ancient to know that he succeeded. He wished to use it to decisively carry out a slaughter when the crucial moment arrived. Unfortunately, the person before him was even quicker than he himself, so his actions now seemed a bit laughable, making his face turn a bit sour. Ha ha. Shahao laughed, carrying ridicule and disdain. There was also a type of self-confidence, as he responded to Fallen Divine Child's previous overbearing manner. A strand of immortal energy appeared silently around Shahao's body. It was pure and spotlessly white like jade, coiling about his body like a true dragon, incomparably auspicious and peaceful. However, before Fallen Divine Child's eyes, it was incredibly blinding. In the distance, everyone saw the two individuals' figures again, seeing their great confrontation. They were all incredibly shaken. Rumor has it that Fallen Divine Child might have taken that step. So why is it that he still cannot suppress Huang? Could it be that Huang also succeeded? That would be too frightening. The fight between these two shocked all sides. It had to be said that fallen divine child was terrifying to a heaven-defying degree, worthy of being an ancient king. Otherwise, how could he have claimed to be the best of an era, sweeping through all of immortal ancient? He was powerful to a ridiculous level, beyond what outsiders could imagine. His casual attack displayed the greatest profound mysteries of precious techniques, displayed to great heights, exceeding the ancient predecessors of all different paths. Back then, your two senior brothers were known as geniuses as well, shocking the world, but they still crawled under my face. Today, I will strike down your kind's final bit of arrogance and dignity. What supreme being? Everything will be crushed beneath my feet. Fallen divine child roared. It was unexpectedly more shocking than a lion or bull roar. Blood-colored mountain peaks split apart all around them, collapsing here. The two confronted each other, continuously clashing together, erupting with the most brilliant symbols. That place became incomparably divine. It was as if they were the lords of all deities as they fought. You dare to boast so shamelessly with just this bit of methods. Shahao said, mocking fallen divine child, it's enough to kill you. There are only a few in this world who can fight me, but you are not included among them. Fallen divine child shouted. After another intense collision, the two of them each retreated to one side. Immediately afterwards, fallen divine child became completely different. His head of grey hair danced about, his eyes deep like an abyss. His entire body slowly forged an imprint. A boundless pressure swept out, shaking the heavens above and earth below. All around them, several 100,000 jinn boulders and other things rose into the air, suspending in the sky, shaking along with the imprint. Then, with another hong sound, all of the enormous rocks exploded. This place was extremely terrifying. Following fallen divine child's imprint, the world began to rumble with noise, as if a tattered painting scroll was moving. It was extremely terrifying. That's fallen deity imprint. In the distance, everyone was horrified. Shahao directly rushed over. The light between the two was dazzling, drowning out the heavens as they collided viciously. In the end, everyone saw fallen divine child fly out, coughing out large amounts of blood. In addition, white hair appeared on his temples. He was seriously injured. Even someone like you dares to boast shamelessly, wanting to kill me. Shahao roared. He quickly took action again, his palms and fingers erupting with endless radiance, bombarding downwards again and again. Fallen divine child's magical imprint was blasted through, his entire body coughing out blood, flying outwards. Shahao chased after him. His right leg swept out, blasting the barrier of light formed by the deities and demon corpses. With a hong sound, it thrashed down on his body, sending him flying again. I'm still not finished. Shahao roared. He closed the distance with the earth to inches technique, blasting away the other party's palms. His fist smashed out, almost piercing through fallen divine child's body. His chest exploded, blood and bone gushing outwards. Humiliating my two senior brothers, winning is one thing, but you keep bringing it up again, using it to provoke me. However, in reality, you aren't even anyone special. Dawn. It was another heavy strike. Shahao's fist smashed out again, light overflowing into the heavens, blasting fallen divine child out horizontally, smashing into a mountain peak. Blood continuously flowed out from his mouth. Don't be careless. Fallen divine ridge's people are the best at taking blows. Cao Yusheng shouted, unknown if he was reminding Shahao or mocking the other party. As for everyone else, they had long become dumbstruck. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.